Hi, this is Anna at the new Vocations Xenia facility, and we are today going to feature Carmine's Honor in our meet and greet live video here. We are in the indoor arena today, and we're going to introduce him to cross rails. He's done poles, walked and trotted over poles, and he's cantered over a single, but he's not done any fences yet. So again, we're featuring Carmine's Honor today. He's a 2015 Bay Gelding. Came to us through New York's Take the Lead program, so we appreciate being able to work with them. He retired last July with a little fracture in his left front ankle. So a little fragment was removed from there, and the surgeon was very happy with the results, and he should have no limitations in his second career. He recovered very well at a new Vocations facility for about 6 months, and he started training here with us at the beginning of the year. He's a typical young horse so far, which is not what we'd expect for somebody that ran 20 races and earned a bunch of money, but he's very full of life and energetic. He's really happy in general about life, and he's been really easy to get along with so far. He's very sweet on the ground, and under saddle he's just still learning and understanding what life's all about. So he has all the typical responses that you would expect from a young horse. He gets a little excited and he'll jig, or he can spook a little bit, but he doesn't misbehave. So he hasn't bucked, reared, or kicked out, or bitten, or anything bad like that. Just kind of getting used to life a little bit, as you would expect a young horse to do. So again, we're featuring Carmine's Honor at the Xenia facility here, and he is going to be started over cross rails today. So let me see if I can flip this video around. I will show you. We've got Amanda in here warming him up, and he does have teeth coming in. So if you notice him flipping his head a little bit with the bit, that is attributed to his teeth bursting through his gums, which we can understand can be a little bit painful for anybody. So he is in a happy mouth snaffle, so it's got a rubber mouthpiece and it's got D-rings, and she has him on a pretty loose rein. We're lucky that this horse is very rhythmical while being forward moving, so he is really light up front and doesn't need much management. He just takes cues from your position and your balance in the saddle. So the faster you post, the faster he'll go. The slower you post, the slower he'll go. And he's been really fun to bring along. He's very cooperative, and as you can see, he's got really long legs and a nice fluid gait. And the better he goes, the more he warms up, the better he goes. So he can be a little bit tense to start out, a little bit young horse-ish. But for the most part, he's been really easygoing and very nice to work with. So Amanda's just trotting him around here. He's been in the indoor quite a bit, and the first time we had him in here, he actually was with 2 other horses, and we had a jump course set up. And he was very calm, took everything kind of in stride. He was in hand, so I walked him around a bit, and we lunged him a little just to see how he moved and how he would handle everything, and he was very sensible. He's also been out around our property. We have 15 acres here and a couple of crop fields next door, so he's hacked out around there. The other day, actually, he was out with company and was leading. He quickly went to the front of the pack and was very brave and sure-footed about that. And a deer came out of the trees and darted across his path, and he did give a spook. His rider was able to stay with him and get him calmed down fairly quickly. So being in the front there, I'm sure didn't help him. If he had been behind the other horse that was a little quieter, he might have had a better reaction to that. But we're happy that he didn't have a meltdown, and there was still no bad behavior, just a little spook. And like I said, he's still a young horse here and getting used to everything. So that was probably his first interaction with something like that, having a deer cross his path, being out in the middle of a field. So luckily he didn't take off and have a meltdown. We were able to get him going again pretty quickly in the right direction. So again, this is Carmine's Honor. He's a 2015 gelding that came to us through New York's Take the Lead program. And he is starting over cross rails today. He's been over poles before, just getting started over an actual jump, and we're gonna see how he handles it live with you guys. I just kind of wanted to give you an introduction to how we normally do it here. So when you see on a horse's profile that they've been introduced to cross rails, this is what we mean by that. So he's just gonna trot around a little bit and get used to going over these poles and figuring out where to put his feet. I have a question: where do we see Carmine excelling in his second career? And so far, we're not quite sure. He seems to be really responsive to whatever is asked of him, so I think he would probably do well with any sort of discipline. He seems to be really forward-moving, forward-thinking kind of horse, so probably something that's going to get his brain working a little bit and give him a chance to kind of figure things out on his own. We are an eventing facility here, so we'd like to get them started with basics in dressage and starting them over fences, obviously, as we can see here, to see if that's something that they might like. So we're going to see today if he likes jumping. He's been very good to hack out. He gets a little excited, but probably with more time there, he could be an enjoyable trail partner, and probably would enjoy fox hunting, going out with a group and things like that. So yeah, we'll see how he likes jumping today. Amanda is doing a very good job of staying quiet and trying to keep him very rhythmical through these poles. That's one of the main things we want him to focus on, is just figuring out where to put his feet, and he's doing pretty well to figure that out here. Maybe rushing a little bit, but this is new to him, so we expect that. Good boy. So since he's been over those orange poles a couple of times now, both directions, I'm going to turn that into a half cross so he learns to pick up his feet a little bit, and we'll see how he handles that. So I'm going to put you on the tripod here, walk over, hopefully. Having some technical difficulties with equipment here. See if we can manage this. Just don't touch it. So he sees it. Good boy. Cool. You're going to turn him around and take him back the other way. So I'm getting a couple questions here asking if he is good for the farrier. And we have actually not had to reset his shoes yet. He's not been due, so I'm not sure about that one. But he's got very good ground manners and he stands in cross ties very well, so I'm assuming that he will behave for the farrier. Good boy. And he has been at our facility since February, I want to say. Yeah, so he's been in training with us for about a month and a half, I think, and he came from a rehab facility, a new Vocations rehab facility, where he was relaxing for about 6 months after he had surgery to remove the little chip from his left front fetlock. We'll go one more here, because he tripped over it a little bit that last time. We want to make sure he's confident before I change it on him. Good boy. All right, I'm going to set you on the tripod again here, and I'm going to make this a full cross, and we'll just leave it small like that. Balance. Sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulty with the phone here. There we go. Again, this is Carmine's Honor. He's a 2015 gelding here at the Xenia facility, and he is getting started over crossrails today. This is his first time. He's been over poles, but not crossrails yet. So I wanted to show you guys how we introduce that and see how he takes it. Good boy, nice and confident and quiet. That's exactly what we want. So you turn around and walk him over that again, and then we'll pick up a little trot and see what he thinks. And again, Amanda's staying very quiet and just keeping her eyes up and her body back here, being encouraging while staying soft up front. Yep, so he can make the decision about whether or not he's going to go, and she's just saying, yep, that's probably a good idea if you keep going and pick up your feet. You can go all the way around, Amanda, and pick up a little trot. And as I mentioned in the beginning, he does have teeth coming in, so that's a little bit of his aversion to the bit here. Just kind of avoiding that pain. And he is in a rubber snaffle to try and help with that. She's going to stay back, keep her leg on. Good boy. Jumped his very first crossrail. Good boy, lots of praise. You're going to come around and do that again. Do the same direction, then we'll turn him around and do the same thing the other way. Good boy. And we don't mind if he taps it a little bit. We don't even mind if he knocks it over, and that's a good gauge for us to be able to see how he's going to react if the poles come down behind him. If he has a little meltdown, then that's something we need to work on. Or if he just kind of hops over and says, oh, well, that was a mistake. Maybe I'll learn from it and do it differently next time, which is obviously the outcome that we'd hope for. So again, if you're just joining us, this is Carmine's Honor. He's a 2015 gelding here at the Xenia facility, and he is just getting started over crossrails today. Yet, thanks Molly for that question. He seems to be doing pretty well in the snaffle, and he's kind of horse that, good boy, that can get going a little bit. So we'd like to be able to have the control of the bit. Once he gets a little bit more confident and kind of understands life, and we're pretty sure he's not gonna have any too much silliness, we could try that bitless bridle on him. We do keep him on a very light rein and try to stay out of his face as much as possible, and he seems to respond really well to that. Good boy. This is very sensible. It's exactly what we want to see from him. We're going to let him walk a minute here. Good boy. So I just wanted to give everybody an idea of what it means on their profile when we say they've been introduced to crossrails. So that is to say that we have started them over just to make sure that they understand the concept. And there are very few horses that we've had at the facility long enough to actually be jumping. So understand that when we say they've been started, that means they've been started. They're still very green and need a lot of help to understand the whole idea of actually jumping over fences. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to talk more about him, anything specific. And we can get Amanda over here and have her perspective on how he feels going over those things. So he looks really confident coming up through there. What did you feel?
He doesn't feel like he's questioning at all. He does want to look, and he does rely a lot on my leg and body to say, we are doing this, we're not looking out somewhere else. And as long as I have that connection with him, he stays pretty focused on whatever I'm doing. That goes for the flat and for the crossrail attempts today, which were very successful.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't give me any questioning. I didn't doubt he was going to go over a single time.
Good.
trying to figure out what to do with all those legs, and now there's something in the way.
And we had the question of whether or not we've tried a bitless bridle on him. How do you feel he's responding to the bit there?
He's not touching the bit very much. I'm trying to keep basically a feather type hold on him. As you can see, I kind of dropped the reins a few times, kind of showing off how relaxed he is. He doesn't really want to be touching the mouth yet, and largely because of those teeth that are coming in that we're aware of. Don't know how much you talked about that, but he's really responsive to listening to my core and to my legs, telling him where to go, what to do. Sometimes we're not as aware of tripods as I wish he would be, but he's very responsive. He definitely wants to work over his back. He's so easy to make go up and over and into everything. He's just a little fussy up front until he gets his mouth worked on a little bit. And he's just being a typical baby most of the time, but very quiet, very willing, and extremely moldable.
Yep.
I think he'd make a great little dressage horse. He might make a cute little hunter horse. As long as you stay out of his mouth and just tell him with your body that everything's okay. He's pretty easygoing.
Yep. Given that he is sensitive up front and is responsive to aids of seat and leg, we'd say he's probably best suited for an upper intermediate level rider. One that has pretty good balance and awareness of their body and their position to be able to influence the horse. And he is very swingy and nice to ride. Amanda enjoys him a lot, and she is used to baby horses and a little of their silliness though, so that's taken all in stride with him, and he's done really well here.
He's more of a treat softly, he treats you softly right back.
Yep. Do we want to try to raise that cross rail?
I'm up for it. I think he is too.
All right, great. Well, let's see how he does with a little bigger axe here.
Let's have some fun, baby.
Okay, again, this is Carmine's Honor 2015 gelding at the Xenia facility, and we are just getting him started over cross rails today. He's done this X a couple of times a little bit smaller, so now we've raised it. The center is still low. We're just giving him the idea that he should pick up all 4 feet and get over that thing. Very good boy. So you could see there he looked down a little bit just to get a gauge for where that thing was and how he should lift himself up to get over it, and no hesitation, just went right through. Some encouragement from Amanda and staying soft in his mouth. Very good boy. Good boy. Good boy. I'm going to take him around the other direction. Yep. So now that he's getting the idea, he thinks this is pretty fun. He's starting to rush a little bit, so Amanda's up there talking to him and keeping him quiet, her rhythm and balance. Good boy. Very nice. He's being very sensible out this, just picking up as high as he needs to, or not over jumping or rushing to it. Just thinking it all the way through and figuring out the easiest way to do it, which is exactly what we like to see. Good boy. And we don't care what lead he lands on. Again, we're just focusing on getting him over this thing and getting him the idea that he should pick up all 4 feet and get to the other side with just a little encouragement from his rider, and that it's a good idea to pick up all those feet. So Amanda's given him some good scratches here. We're very happy with that workout today. And if nobody has any other questions, we will go ahead and wrap this up. Again, this has been Carmine's Honor. It's a 2015 gelding at the Xenia facility, and he is just started over cross rails today, so his profile will now say he's been introduced to cross rails. And if you've watched this since the beginning, we started out with a little teeny baby cross rail. We did a half cross actually to start after he walked over just the poles on the ground. And he took this all in stride, very sensible, just picking up all 4 feet, getting to the other side of that fence, taking a little bit of encouragement, and then slowing down on the back side of it. So this 2015 gelding, he ran 20 times, and he retired with a little bit of injury on his left front fetlock. A little fragment was removed from there last July, and the surgeon had a very good prognosis for him in any discipline. So we've seen he's happy to start over fences here. We think he might be a pretty good candidate for a jumping career. Molly, thank you for your question. He is very polite on the ground. When entering his stall, actually, to put his halter on and groom him, he will just lay his head right in your hands for scratches all over, and he stands stock still as if to say, yay, yay, pamper me, love me. This is so nice. So, yep, he's been very quiet, good guy to work with here, and Amanda enjoys riding him. So, thank you guys very much for tuning in. And again, check him out on the website, horseadoption.com. This is Carmine's Honor. Thank you.